Since Ruben Amorim took charge at Manchester United in November, it's fair to say his side's performances have been a mixed bag. The manager stepped in following the club's worst ever start to a Premier League season under Erik Ten Hag, who managed just 4 wins from 9 games and left United languishing in 14th place. So out went Ten Hag and in came Amorim, who left a successful sporting side he had built for the daunting challenge of reviving the biggest fallen giants in world football. His tactical ingenuity, particularly his preference for a back 3 formation and dynamic midfield rotations, was seen as a potential remedy for United's ongoing identity crisis. However, despite visible changes in playing style, results have remained inconsistent. As pressure mounts and comparisons to Ten Hag become inevitable, it raises the question, have United truly improved under Amorim, and how does his side stack up against Ten Hag's? It might have seemed strange at the time, especially after United's decisive 4-0 win against Everton, but Amorim's prediction of an impending storm now feels eerily prophetic. And those hoping for an instant turnaround with a new manager were in for a reality check. After just 10 games under Amorim, the results tell a troubling story. United remain in the bottom half of the league, having collected only 7 points from 7 league matches, which is actually 1 point fewer than Ten Hag managed in his final 7 games. Making matters worse, United are already out of the Carabao Cup, a trophy they secured during Ten Hag's first season, while their FA Cup aspirations look slim after being drawn away to Arsenal in the 3rd round. They have at least made progress in the Europa League, securing wins against Boda Glimt and Victoria Pilsen and positioning themselves well to qualify automatically for the last 16. The core issue behind United's poor performances lies in their defensive frailties. While they have conceded fewer shots than they did under Ten Hag and appear less vulnerable in open play, being able to defuse threats from opposition transitions, they have already conceded 19 goals in 10 games across all competitions, with a staggering 8 of those coming from set pieces. In the Premier League, Amorim's 1.7 goals conceded per match is also the worst of any United manager in history. These defensive struggles could stem from players struggling to adapt to Amorim's preferred 3-4-3 formation, or from recurring rookie mistakes. United's off-the-ball stats have dipped under his management as well, averaging 18 tackles per game compared to 22 under Ten Hag, 10.2 interceptions per game versus 11.3, and 4.2 possession wins in the final third compared to 4.6. On the flip side, Amorim's attacking output has significantly outperformed that of Ten Hag's. Under Amorim, United have scored 1.7 goals per game, a welcome improvement over his predecessor's average of 1.45. This was a much-needed immediate change, especially after United's expected goals in the Premier League under Ten Hag underperformed by -7.69 earlier this season, the worst of all 20 teams in the competition. On the whole, Amorim's time at the club has been a net positive, especially in addressing their long-standing shortage of goals. Still, attacking is only half the game, and so he must urgently improve the team's defense to prove himself the right man for the job. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, subscribe so that you don't miss out on our future videos. Unlike Ten Hag, Amorim has shown a greater willingness to bear responsibility for the squad's injury issues by rotating players as much as possible, even if it has meant fielding those of lesser ability. While an injury crisis plagued Ten Hag's second season, he often excused his situation by highlighting the number of players he was missing, without ever drawing a connection to his reluctance to rotate the squad. Communication is another area where Amorim has excelled compared to Ten Hag, both with the media and within the team. And while Ten Hag often spoke about improving standards, his actions did not always align with his words, resulting in drastically inconsistent disciplinary measures. For example, when Cristiano Ronaldo refused to come off the bench as a substitute against Tottenham, he was left out of the squad in United's next game. In stark contrast, Ten Hag's treatment of certain players, notably Marcus Rashford, was vastly different. For instance, when Rashford arrived late to a team meeting before a match against Wolves due to oversleeping, his punishment was to be left out of the starting lineup, only to be brought on at half-time when the game was goalless. Rashford went on to score the winning goal and all was forgiven. Similarly, when he skipped training following a night out in Belfast last season, he missed only the match against League 2 side Newport County and returned to the starting lineup for the following game. In this context, Amorim has proven himself to be a much stricter enforcer of his rules, most notably by excluding Rashford and Garnacho from the squad for the Manchester Derby after questioning their attitudes off the pitch. While Garnacho returned for the next game, Rashford remains sidelined. The continued absence of the homegrown forward may be causing a distraction in the dressing room. Nonetheless, Amorim has reaffirmed that he will not budge until he sees a noticeable improvement in Rashford's training performances, even if it means the player's market value will be driven down by not playing. This refreshing approach should motivate United fans who have grown frustrated with certain high-wage players not pulling their weight, and with how Ten Hag used to compromise on his principles. Speaking of compromising principles, Ten Hag was hired by United for his Ajax-inspired philosophy of fluid, possession-based attacking football. However, just a year into his tenure, he raised eyebrows by stating that the Red Devils could never play like Ajax, claiming he needed to adopt a more direct and pragmatic style. In truth, this remark shouldn't have surprised anyone who noticed how quickly he reshaped the team after losing his first 2 games in charge against Brighton and Brentford. Ten Hag quickly abandoned his principles of playing out from the back and dominating the ball, causing his side to resemble that of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, solely geared towards counter-attacking. While these tactics helped United finish 3rd in the Premier League and reach 2 finals in his debut season, his team was found out in his second campaign and exposed their inability to evolve. Despite making a dozen or so signings and overseeing the emergence of talents like Garnacho and Mainu from the academy, one must wonder why he couldn't implement his desired playing style with the players he signed. Signing intelligent, hard-pressing players like Mason Mount and Rasmus Højlund, along with a ball-playing goalkeeper in Andre Onana, seemed like a good start. But instead, United looked even more directionless, appearing flat and susceptible to frequent turnovers and defensive lapses. At times, their midfield became virtually non-existent, a consequence of their defenders consistently dropping off while the other players pressed disjointedly, creating vast spaces in midfield for opponents to exploit. In contrast, Amorim has instilled a more structured approach, emphasizing controlled possession and tactical discipline. His use of a back 3 has enhanced team cohesion, though their goals conceded indicate that his squad still needs time to adjust to his methods. Amorim's plans for future signings and his commitment to his tactical setup that works so well at Sporting highlight his dedication to what he knows best. However, implementing such a fixed style of play doesn't happen overnight, so the hope is that after a few transfer windows and consistent training, this approach will lay a strong foundation for longer-term success. To watch our video on Amorim's early impact at United, click the first link in the description or the card in the top right corner. With several tough fixtures ahead, things are likely to get worse for United before they get better. By February, it should be clearer whether or not Amorim's methods are taking effect. But one thing for certain is that Amorim will not accept mediocrity and will not compromise on his vision. Despite the rocky start, he remains a man with a plan, and unlike his predecessors, he is determined to see it through. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more football news, stories, and insights. Also, don't forget to hit notifications so you never miss a beat. And with that, we'll see you in the next video.